Hey guys, today is Tuesday. So there's a trick. Until I always check. Tuesday, September 22nd. Holy Moses. I thought it was earlier in September than that. Wrong. Hello. It is September 22nd. It has been approximately 5 gabajillion years since my last floss tube. I cut all my hair off. Feels like all of it. I know I still have a lot, but it felt amazing to chop this mane. I was so excited, so excited. I had meant to cut my hair in April because I was going back home to New York for my best friend's wedding. And I never found someone out in California that I loved doing my hair. So I was just going to get it done right before the wedding. No biggie, she'd been cutting my hair for years. Yeah, well, the wedding has been postponed 3 times now, and my hair was down to like here, and it had to go. It was bad. That is not the reason it has been so long since I have filmed one of these. To be very honest with everybody, I have a lot going on like everybody, but it's been giving me a lot of anxiety, and so I just haven't stopped stitching. So just, I guess, really quickly, I have a daughter who is going to be 2 very soon, and she needs surgery. It is a it's a standard procedure. I can't even think of the words I want to use. It's nothing crazy. She has strabismus, which is something to do with the muscles in the eye, and they don't function with the brain correctly, and it causes her eye to not focus correctly, even with corrective lenses on, and we run the risk of her losing her vision permanently if we don't fix it. Routine, that is the word I wanted, routine. It's a routine surgery. I am in the world of dental, work-wise, so for me, when people tell me they gotta get their wisdom teeth out, it is no big deal. Everyday type of thing. It seems like this is what that is in the world of eyes. But my baby, she's 2, and she's got to be put under. And I am getting upset even saying it, so I won't talk about it too much, but the surgery has been scheduled, and ever since that, I've been a bit of a wreck. Because I know I don't have too much of a choice. She needs to have it done. And I'm scared. So I haven't stopped stitching. But I have a pile of stuff that I normally throw in here that I want to show you guys. And it has gotten gigantic. It's just ginormous. So I'm going to try to get through some of it today. It's really going to be like a finish parade. I have some haul. I like to keep my floss tubes kind of short because when I see shorter floss tubes, I'm like, yes, I can get through this. I can get like 3 or 4 floss tubes that I want to watch. When I see something that's an hour long, I just find it daunting, and I'm like, I don't want to start this and then cut them off in the middle and then not forget. So I like to keep my floss tube short in case some of you like short floss tubes. Just a me thing, maybe. So we're gonna see where I'm at when I finish my finish parade. And if I still have a lot of stuff, which I mean, another thing that happens to me when I get anxious, aside from never sleeping, is retail therapy. I have a lot of haul. So I'm going to see where I end up. And if I don't get to the haul, you guys can tell me at the end of this video if you'd like to see the haul. I don't know if you guys are particularly interested in that. Maybe I can get some of you to join me on some of my future stitching endeavors. We'll see. But, so without further ado, I am going to do this in no particular order. I'm going to grab what's on the top and go. So, this is the latest fancy blanket pattern from Pineberry Lane. It is called Pumpkins, I believe. Trying to get it so you guys can see it nicely. I want to tell you guys that I really don't remember the specifics because, I mean, this is how long it's been since I've stitched this. Like, I don't remember what color this is. It feels like a picture of this plus fabric, 36 count. and I heard about the pattern on one of Brenda and the Cereal Starters Flosstubes, and I have a thing for Fancy Blanket, and when they said there was a PDF, or when they mentioned that it was on there, I ran to go look, and it was a PDF, and I was so excited, so I downloaded it, stitched up pretty fast. There's another one that I have my eye on that I really want to do. It's something similar, like there's a tree, and there are, I don't know if they're vultures or turkey vultures, but they're like closing in on her scarecrow friend, and she's shooing them away. I think the pattern is called Shoo, and I really want to do that one because I think it would look perfect with, I'm about to go not in order, but I started talking about it, so. The Grave Fellows pattern that Stephanie Webb of Lindy Stitches had in this year's Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition. So I think that would just look really cute together. So I have that in my head. But when I show you guys the haul, some of you are going to say to me, you don't need to buy another pattern. Why don't you try and get through what you've purchased and then you can go look. I don't know if I'm going to listen to myself or to anybody else, but we'll see. I finished this one kind of recently though. It is on Picture This Plus Eek, which worked out well. I made a boo-boo when I was stitching this though. I don't know if you can tell, but the turkey vulture and the words are 2/2. I believe this is a 32 count, and I have gotten so used to stitching 1/2 that when I started doing the tombstones, I pulled one thread, started stitching, and was like, oh, this feels so much better. And then I just went for it. I went back and stitched the rest of the words in 2/2 because I had done most of it in 2/2, but I said, screw it with everything else. I don't think it looks bad. I mean, you can kind of see this through there, but I don't think that detracts from it in any way. So, if you know Shoo, how good would it look with this pattern? I have this weird thing about not wanting to cut fabric. So you guys are going to see in that pile, I have like 5 or 6 patterns on different pieces of fabric because I just want to cut them right before they need to be cut. I can't explain it. Strange, I know. But I like that the edges are serged. That's really what it is. And once you cut it, you have an unserged edge, and I don't have a serger, and this just makes my life easier, so it's how I do it. It ends up a lot of extra stitching fabric as I'm going, but I've made do. It's totally cool. The next one I did, I think this was pretty, I think this was early on after my latest Flosstube, was a primitive hair pattern. It is called Mrs. Claus Bed and Breakfast. Milk and cookies served nightly. I'm going to see if I can fix that light real fast because I think it's hard to see. Let's see, hold on. Did that help? Maybe? Well, Mrs. Claus Bed and Breakfast. I bought this pattern last year, and every time I saw it in my Dropbox, I was like, but I want to stitch you. And I didn't, I don't know, I just hadn't. And I finally picked this one up and did it. And it was a lot of fun. Y'all know that I hated this. Hated that block of color. I could not do full coverage. Even when you're doing a pattern and there's an area that's full coverage, I struggle hard. I don't know why. I don't know why, but it's the thing that I do. And this block of white killed me. But I prevailed. See, this isn't so bad because you're doing a bunch of different colors. That apron didn't drive me nuts. That did. This fabric it's a limited edition from Color and Cotton. It was in their Christmas box, I think 2 years ago. I think it's called Gingerbread Lane. It might not have a color. It might just be like limited edition Christmas box. I think it's a 16 count Ada. And I don't think I used any of the called for colors in this except the white. And then I grabbed some Color and Cotton flosses that I had that matched the pattern, and I think it came out really cute. I want to frame it and put it over my kitchen during Christmas time and pretend that I'm Mrs. Claus. They will not be cookies served nightly though, but I can pretend, right? I might get in trouble. My husband might be like, but you promised me cookies. Where are they? We'll see. He might not even notice. I don't know about any of your significant others, but if my husband notices something new in the house, I feel like it's a miracle that he noticed. And sometimes he'll mention it, and I'll be like, but I changed that like weeks ago. And he's like, oh, well, I noticed it now. Does that count? I'm not sure. Think about it. Oh, look, see, okay. So I don't think I showed you guys either of these patterns. If I did, I'll show you this one again. I might have showed you guys this one. This one is fa la 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 la. I'm ready for Christmas. I don't know about you guys. It is a fall llama. I love llamas. And he has a pumpkin on his back. His coloring is hard to see. It is almost the same color as the fabric. But I was like determined to use it because it was a wool floss. And I had never used a wool floss before. Abby from Top Knot Stitcher sent it to me in one of my orders. And it just screamed llama. I could have picked a better fabric to put it on. I acknowledge that. In person, you can definitely see the llama better. But he is super cute. He looks like he's happy with his pumpkin, and I enjoy him. So, that's all that matters, right? I had another fancy blanket on here. Blanket. She is not a fancy blanket. She's a fancy blanket. I did this one. I think it's Fancy and the Butter Churn. And Michelle of Bendy Stitchy Designs stitched this. And then Diana from It Is Kids Knit Stitches stitched it as well. And it was just so cute. And it was small. And I just loved it. I want to do all of them. I think there's like one or two that I wasn't crazy about. So most of them. But this one I think is just so cute. Look at her. I have this dream of having a witch wall. I know I mentioned that to you guys before. I think I'm going to start doing it. I think I'm going to send some of my things out for framing because, you know, I see all of you guys FFOing things. And I give you guys so much credit because I have so much fear of ruining my projects. Bad fear. And like I have stuff that I took out for Halloween, and some of it came out really good, and other stuff I'm like, ugh, I wish somebody else had done this for me. So the stuff I want in frames, I think I'm gonna send out to Total Framing and start getting myself together because there's not enough cross stitch on my walls. You might not know that a stitcher lives here. I have an idea, especially around the holidays, like on Halloween, you know, but the rest of the year, I don't think anyone knows. So, moving on. This. Don't look at the side. Don't do it. Now to show you. I can't hide it. This is... Oh, I can hide it. This is Gathering Berries by Luminous Fiber Arts. I stitched this 1/1 on 32 count Tyco by Picture This Plus. And I love it. What I'm trying not to show you is that. Yeah. But it's far enough away from the pattern that I think I'm okay. I've seen people turn this into a cute little cushion, so I think I might do that. And then I don't really need that extra fabric. You know, I am confident in my tiny pillow making skills. So I really only need like 1/4 of an inch around the pattern showing. So I think it'll be okay. But I really love this pattern. I heard somewhere that she was making a series of them, and I hope that's true because these were just oh so very cute. And if you are interested in this pattern, I would definitely try and buy it before the end of this year. The proceeds are going to help a family member. If I recall correctly, it was for cancer treatments for that family member. She has it all up in the Etsy shop. Give it a look. Really cute. And I've seen some really awesome finishes with this. So cute. She also has a pattern out in this year's Just Cross Stitch Halloween. And it's on my to-do list. Like I printed it out. It's coming up next. So I'm excited to do that. They're so cute. Speaking of Just Cross Stitch, look at this pretty spider. Now I screwed this up. I feel like in my anxiety too, I've noticed a few screw ups, but I'm just trying to embrace them. But you kind of, I mean, you guys tell me. You can notice it because this is supposed to be a square and this is very not. I went off the wrong leg when I was putting one of these things in, and I didn't realize until this entire flower was done. I think I had done all of the other flowers, and then when I got here, I was like, hey, but that's not matching. They should be on up here with that. Oh, I see what I did there. Rats. Coconuts, like Lolly likes to say, oh, coconuts. I'm stealing that, Lol. It's great. And I probably shouldn't cuss as much as I do, so coconut sounds like a great alternative, right? But despite the fact that it's a little uneven, I am telling myself that flowers in a garden do not line themselves up in a perfect square. I don't feel like it takes too much away, and I like it, so. This, I think, was called Floral Spiderweb. I cannot remember the name of the designer. It is in Just Cross Stitch. I almost said 2019, 2020. I don't think I used all of the called fors. I'm going to go with no. I think I went with similar colors. I pulled open my stash, saw what I had that was close, and went with that. I think it's all DMC, though. And I think this is also a 32 count. I'm trying to get rid of all my 32 count, like use it up, because I'm really enjoying stitching on 36 count. But I'm not going to throw away the fabric that I have, so. I have a question for the rest of you guys. I love how stitching looks on 40 count. Love it. Why can't I stitch on it? I have such a problem. My head almost instantly hurts after I do it. I've gotten glasses. Y'all want to see them? I know you do. If my friend Sam is watching, she's going, put on the glasses! Put them on! I can't wear them long because it's going to make me ill also, but I'll throw them on for you so you can giggle a little. Look at these things. I look like one of the dentists trying to really get in there. And it works. It definitely works. I have never been able to wear glasses. I have contacts. But if I ever just put my glasses on, I have an issue. I get a headache, I don't feel great, and sometimes I have no choice but to, suffer through it. And I noticed that was happening here when I was stitching on the 40 count with that on. And I really want to be able to stitch on 40 count, and it's a struggle puddle for me. I'm trying. So if anybody has suggestions, or if this happens to anybody and you know a way to work around, let me know, please. I want to know. Wow. 36 works for me, but 40 would be nice too. This. Whew. You ever look at like the stitch count and you're like, oh, that's not going to be so bad? That's me. I do that. And this stitch count wasn't bad. It was like, 150 by 120 maybe. That even sounds high. I don't know if it actually hit the 100s by the width. But there was just so much stitching and so much detail in this pattern. that it took me a while, but it was worth it. This is Jackolantern Junction by Hands-On Design, and I know that the person who designed the chalk art that was turned into the pattern was Priscilla from Stitching with Housewives, and it was really cute. The more I stitched, the more I noticed there are Smyrna crosses, there are, I don't know if you can tell because my lighting isn't great today, but there is back stitching almost everywhere. Like even there, the ghosts' mouths are backstitch in purple. The window, the door, the steps, and it was just a lot of fun. Like look at the whiskers on that cat. I screwed up both of those cats. There is not a symmetrical cat on this thing. One's tail's in the wrong spot. One of them's a little short, but it was a lot of fun. I think I used all of the called for colors. The only thing I changed was the pink. I threw some pink in here. These two pumpkins were a gray, and I wish I had really thought about it before I stitched all the other gray pumpkins, because I would have rathered colorful pumpkins. But I realized in time for those, so I changed those to pink. I do not like to frog, so once it's in there, it's a pretty good chance it's staying. And then these pumpkins on the top were all orange, and I just saw another opportunity to throw in some extra color, so I made one pink and I made one blue. But this was a lot of fun. As you can see, I don't know how I'm going to finish this because of those margins. Gosh, I was playing margin chicken. Is that a thing? Thank God they were serged. I think if the edges weren't serged, I wouldn't have even attempted. But because they were, I was like, well, it's the worst that happens. I can take something off. I can fix it. And it fit. But it's close. I definitely need a bigger piece for the Christmas one. But love it. If you guys have ideas on how I can finish this, let me know. I might have to bite the bullet and frame this one myself. Get that sticky mat board so that I just plop it on there and throw it in a frame. But because I don't want a pillow. This is big for a pillow. This is bigger than my head. No. So we'll see. But I have to say, stitching on this, I did not like stitching on this fabric. It took me a while to realize that I was struggling with the fabric. I was just rough on the eyes, but I don't know. I think I'm going to try and go back to that other gray that I like, the one that I did for Rooftop Cocoa Shop. It's a pick for this bus. I think it's called Echo. And I'm going to try and do that for the Christmas one, because I don't remember hating that. I loved the pattern, loved it. It was so much fun. But my eyes were happy when I was done. Very, very happy. Okay, so let's see. Tell you how long you've been filming for? 23 minutes. Okay, good. So, my next one is I am in the Dying to Stitch Quaint Country Ladies Club. They have sent 2 patterns out this year, and I told myself I was only allowed to join in the club if I finished every single club piece that was sent to me this year, unless the last one comes December at all, in December, and then maybe I'll give myself to January. But and so far I'm good. So far I'm 2 for 2. This one, it's all the patterns are by Pineberry Lane, and this one is called Gather. I changed this pattern. I made it look like Anne of Green Gables. My name is Nicole Ann with an E, because when my mother was pregnant, she just watched Anne of Green Gables over and over again, and I think she was hoping I'd be like, Anne, I have no comment. I can be quite eccentric. Don't know if I'm Anne level, but you know, whatever. She was a big part of me growing up. I still, Anne with an E, right? You know, my mom, they actually spelled that name wrong. Like when they printed my birth certificate, they spelled it ANN, and she went through hell and high waters to get them to hit the friggin' E. So you know, she knew what she wanted. So I bring you my Anne of Green Gables conversion of this Pineberry Lane pattern. Because I changed it, I did make the dress a lot less boxy, and I lost stitches on both ends, and then I decided to just carry on the pattern as if I hadn't taken out a couple of stitches, and I knew that meant this was going to happen, that we were going to get real close. Like, I am lucky I didn't take one single stitch more off, because I would have had to do some finagling with these tree leaves. But it worked. I really like it. I like to imagine that Anna's telling that little squirrel some mysterious, mystical story of how these acorn trees came to be, and some magic forest that she's concocted, right? You know, because that would be an Anne thing. You can see I watch those movies a lot. Read the books too, but I feel like I had watched the movies so much when I was younger that was my canon. So when I read the books and they were a smidgen different, I didn't have any of that. So we just push that away. Oh wow, I went through things quickly. Okay, so this is the last finish that I have in here. It is something that I finished 2 days ago. Which makes me feel like something's missing, but I don't know. My last finish. This was in the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher 2019 Fall magazine. It is by June Reed Folk Art. One of the two. I did not use any of the called for colors. My favorite yellow is Gassed Gold Leaf. So I used that, and then I got nervous that she was looking kind of bumblebee-like, but I think it's okay. I think you can tell she's a witch and not Queen of the Bees. But I did go with, except for the skirt, I went based off of similar colors to what was suggested. The only thing I took out was the words Salem, Mass was supposed to be underneath here. And I liked that this was almost square. And I was like, I don't need it to say Salem, Mass. I have no connections to Massachusetts. I have no connection to Salem. And I think it reads witch. I don't think you needed Salem under there. But really cute. I saw her in that magazine, was like, yes, you're going to be mine. And here she is. Here she goes. I have tulips in here that just happen to be in here, so I will show you. I started the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Midnight Way Stitch Along. I'm behind. I can't even explain to you why. I just am. I picked up other things, I put this down, and I finished the first clue in its entirety. I actually picked it up today, which is why it's in here, and started on clue number 2. I'm going to still try and do them in clue sections, because I always feel like these patterns feel more manageable when you actually do them in clue sections, and I like that. I think I am using all of the called for colors. This is even the called for fabric. It's just a smidge smaller, like I think this is 16 count as opposed to 14. I cannot remember the name. It is a picture of this plus though. But if you have the pattern and you look on what was called for, that is what this is. Sometimes I leave the stickers on here. Nope, did not. So I'm going to try and work on that. See if I can catch up. Probably not. The fourth clue is probably coming out real soon. I mean, as long as it's done before Halloween, right? She cute. She happy. The other two buildings are just so stinking cute. This is going to be Cat and Bats, or Bats and Cats. And I can't remember the wording on it, but it was like a deceased person's library, something like that. And it cracked me up. I remember reading it and thinking it was funny. And of course, it's not coming to me because I've been staring at pattern clue number 2. But, I digress. So, working on that. And then, this pattern. So, I am a huge Plum Street sampler fan. Guys, this is the haul. That doesn't even include what like PDFs I've purchased. I'm like, it's so bad. But I'm gonna pull this one out to show you. I have a big love for Plum Street samplers, and I don't really understand what this new thought of mine was, but I've been looking for tombstone patterns. I really got into like the idea of the morning sampler and how the morning sampler wasn't meant to be sad. It wasn't meant to make you, it wasn't morbid, you know, it was just a way to really remember your loved one. Sorry, I'm just throwing this stitch in here before I show it to you. And I really liked that, so I started to look for patterns like that. And while I'm talking about it, I might as well show you what I found with that in that theme. And I had found back in like 2014, who knows? Whoa, 2007. Plum Street samplers had what she called the exemplary collection. It's not a real word, so I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Exemplary? Like the exemplary. Yeah, let's call it that. The exemplary collection, which was a bunch of tombstone-y, deathy kind of patterns. From what I read on a blog post that she had posted not long after she released these, it doesn't seem like they were well received. Not that people were upset with them, but people weren't like, yes, like they weren't very excited about them. So I think she stopped printing them. And of course, now I want them. If anybody has the figs and are willing to let me borrow the figs, let me know. Part of that collection. Can't find them anywhere. But this one, I found Eliza Pennant's on 1884 Stitchery. And I want you to know, McKenna, the owner of that site, jokingly messaged me like, okay, now I want to see the finish tomorrow. Because it's small, right? It's only 55 wide by 57 high. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I kind of been banging out my stuff very fast. So I thought I could bang this out fast. And I grabbed a piece of mystery linen. And I stitched it, pulled it up, not realizing that the words are over 1. And this is a very small count of linen. And it's not showing well. I'm not getting it. Can't read it well. Where was I at? It's a small count. Like, I'm thinking like 40 count probably. Over 1. So I've had to wear those glasses. And I get nauseous. I really feel sick. I go as long as I can. There have been a few times where I had to be like, I had to tell myself, no, you have to stop. You're going to be physically ill. But I am a stubborn person. Didn't want to give it up. Didn't want to start it over. And I almost prevailed. I have all of the words except her name. And her name is, of course, over 1. I'm leaving it to the end so that when I finish it, I can be like, needle drop, it's done. But isn't it cute? I, again, don't think I'm using any of the cold for color. That green's a little bright, but it's fine. I think it's cute. It says, because I don't think you can really read it, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. I'm not a religious person. I was raised Catholic, but it stopped. My journey into religion stopped at some point. Faith? Yeah, that's it. But I liked it because it was the tombstone. And It's not my tombstone, so it can be as religious as they want it to be, right? I think I want like a collection of tombstone-ish stuff. Coming to peace with remembering people in this way, I think. It's one of those journeys for me. So, along those lines, let me show you the other ones that I have found. I feel like there was a lot of Carriage House samplings ones. There were. Alright, I think these are it. The Curse of the Raisin. Did you guys just hear me say the Curse of the Raisin? It's not a cursed raisin. It is the Curse of the Raven by Carriage House Sampling. This is ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And I just think it's really cute. It's also kind of small, so hopefully I can bang that out quick. This one is Susanna Goose, also by Carriage House Sampling. I saw somebody stitch this on Instagram, and oh my goodness, it cracked me up. Diana stitched Jonathan Pease, which is impossible to find that chart. And it's so funny. I don't want to tell you what it said on the tombstone because I'm not going to do it justice. But his last name is Pease, and I think it's P-E-A-S-E, and it just, the rest of the tombstone makes jokes about being a P, like a P-E-A-S kind of Pease. I think the very end is like, he shelled out. I thought it was hysterical. But this one was not that kind of funny punny, but they do use B-E-E at the end, and she's a little bee, so I thought that was cute and different. This one's a little bigger, so I don't think I'm going to run to this one, but I do eventually want to stitch it. And then there was Susanna Foley by Kathy Barrick. It's just a simple little tombstone angel, and she will fit in with the rest of my new tombstone collection. It's not working. Oh, there we go. Cute. I think that was it for my, oh no, there were other. I like how I was like, I'll show you a haul next time. Lied. I went on to Kitchen, I just can't talk today, guys. Kitchen Stitcher, and I found 2 Staci Nash primitives that I really liked. They were along the same lines. This is the Thistles and Spells Pin Keep. I mean, this is just so freaking cute to me. Everything. The plant, that little lass over there, the black pumpkin, it's just so cute. This is definitely on my to stitch soon list. Love it. So cute. And then this one, definitely a morning sampler, was Morning Tree Sewing Bag. And it's different, and it can definitely feel morbid. I'm giving up, guys. Morbid. But I'm telling you, I'm very fascinated with the morning sampler idea. And I strangely like it. It might not be everybody's taste, but that's the fun in cross stitch, right? You stitch what you like and what you are drawn to. So finding peace in this. Should I just keep going with the haul? How much we got? 39 minutes. Okay, I'll do a little more. I think I'll probably do a whip video a different day because I do want to show you guys what my season Quicker Friendship looks like. But let me go. Let me see what's in here. We could do like my Halloween stuff. There we go. That's a good idea. This was another old Plum Street that I found called Buttons Black. It says, hissing clack, brew is brack, pointed boots with buttons black. The only thing I don't like about this pattern is brew is brack. I looked up the word brack because I didn't know it, and it wasn't a good word. Like, you don't want anything to be brack. And brew is not Brock in my world, so if anybody can think of a word that acts that I can replace for brew is, make it that word, can you guys let me know? I'm looking for suggestions. I keep thinking like brew is crack because you know, like if you have your coffee, you're like, that is my drug of choice. Give me that. But I don't want to do that. So if anybody can think of something better, please let me know. Open to any and all suggestions. And then I definitely got some happy mail from Deanna from Darling and Whimsy Designs. Her latest quirky quaker, the bat. Look at him. He's so cute. He is going on my list of Halloween smalls with everything else that I got from Halloween cross stitch. So I will be doing him this year. She also sent me her freebie. I don't think the cover page is on here, so I don't want to show it. Oh, it's a freebie, right? I won't hold it long, but it's a tombstone that says, "Here lies Myra Maines," like Myri Maines. I'm telling you, I love puns. So, oh, you can't see nothing. So if you want it, I think it's on her website, so I would check that out. I know she definitely posted it, I saw it. And then I have this desire for my witch wall. So I went Brenda Gervais crazy. I'll show you guys. And then someone, Nicole, formerly Coliolioli, and now I drink and I stitch things, was beyond kind and passed me a pattern that I couldn't find anywhere, which is Night Out. It is gone. Poof! Couldn't find it anywhere. Even like some LNSs that I checked out, nothing. Oh, I'm like 50 minutes in. I got all wrapped up in why I haven't been here for so long and my haircut. It's like channel about cross stitch. Come on, who's laughing with me? You can't be alone. Where we talk about our crafty stuff and mostly cross stitch for me, sometimes quilting, not often. LNS, that's what made me think of it. Local Needle Work Shop. So I couldn't find it, and she asked me if I would like her copy, and I'm going to stitch it this season because I feel like when someone passes you stash, you should pass it on. Just some small thing for me. Like, if I ever pass you a pattern, please don't feel like you need to pass it on. That's a me rule. I'd like to pass it on because somebody showed me stitchy kindness and I want to pass that forward. She sent me this. And then I bought a few for my witch wall. Gardener Good Witch. Hallows Eve at Raven's Hollow. Cry for the Crow? Something for the Crow. Of course, there's the invoice in the back. It doesn't say. I don't know what that word is. What does that first word look like to you guys? Cry? Give? Something for the crow. Crow getting something. Gift? I don't know. But it's cute. And then I definitely had the Witch's Brew one. I don't think it made it in here because I'm kidding it up. So I think it's inside, but I'll show you guys that a different day. But my other Halloween one was the new Blue Flower Halloween Parade. And I'm going to tell you what sold me on this right now. Tell me that's not a Sphinx. I messaged me and I was like, but is it a Sphinx? And she told me it could be. That definitely looked like a Sphinx. So I'm calling it a Sphinx. I think I'm going to take the words out. I'm not a stitchy word person often. And I'm gonna move that moon and birdie in and call it done. But it's so cute. I think it's so funny. And her patterns are so detailed. She always puts on the back like the little details, and you can see the fish that she's got in the basket that the lady is handing out. Look at those. They got bones and all. So cute. So cute. I think I still have a lot of stash, and I'm just not going to go through it today. This is not stash. Oh, is it stash? Yeah. Stash and haul. Oh, I'm just lying all over the place. Can't talk today. There's only one more pattern in here. Well, I cannot show you the last pattern. Come on. It is another Brenda Gervais. It is Gatherings Autumn. It is a series. And I am on an auto ship for the other 3 seasons because I'm sure I'm going to love them. I think this is so cute. It's a basket of fall. If I could put fall in a basket. There would be some pumpkin spice in there if I could do it, but you know. Cute. And I even like that acorn's going in. It looks like it's buried into the ground, but it's the basket. So, just cute things. The only other thing that I got, I did get a bunch of bags recently. They're all in use. This is the only one that's not in use because it was a Christmas bag. And I have a specific pattern that's going to go in it. This is from the 805 Stitcher. It is going to hold my Merry Manatees by Lindy Stitches. Look how cute. She always does this lining up. And when I was quilting, that is hard. I can't do it. Not that well. Not well at all. But I'm not a very accomplished quilter, but I'm okay with it. She made it, the listing was gone, and I was like, there's no chance that you have any more, do you? She's like, I got enough for one more bag. Oh, mine. And I'm excited for it. So, it's a little Mill Hill kit in there that I bought because I'm into the beachy Santa. Okay. That's not the pattern that's going to live in here. I just threw it in there. But I do have a bunch of bags. I'm going to try and show them next week because they're awesome bags. They're all Halloween. They're from different places like Nikki's Notables, Quilting with Nico. I got another 805 Stitcher bag. I want to say that there's another one in it. I'm just blanking, but they're all being happily used. So, I think that's really it for me. I'm going to tell you guys what I always do. I'm going to try and be good and not buy any more patterns. Maybe I can look up what PDFs I bought and show you those because I definitely bought some PDFs, but that's for another day. So, if you're back, thank you for coming back. If you're new, I hope you enjoyed. Follow me on Instagram. I'm on there the most. And that's really it. I hope I will see you much sooner than the last time. Thanks for joining me and my inability to speak today. I hope I made you laugh, made myself laugh. The curse of that raisin got me. My friend, one of my best friends, her name is Sam, and she abhors raisins, abhors them, and always says to me that raisins are just a waste of wine, a wasted grape that could have been wine. So she probably agrees that raisins are a curse, so she would have laughed at me. I hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody by me is safe with all the fires, all the smoke, the whole Oregon, everybody. I hope you're all doing okay. And hoping that we've got better times ahead. Thank you for stopping by. See you soon.